the day to reflect the theme Caring for Wetlands, an answer to climate change. Among the activities were guided tours of the Port Royal Mangrove Forest. There were also presentations on Port Royal's wetlands and quays at the Old Naval Hospital in Port Royal, as well as special presentations on wetland forests and on Port Royal's cultural heritage. An exhibition was mounted all day at the Old Naval Hospital. And those were the stories making the news today. For more information, please visit our website at www.jis.gov.jm. Stay with us. Jamaica Magazine continues.
Roxanne, how you look so?
Wait, expect. You know, I'm pregnant.
Well, the pregnancy not treat you right.
It's not really the pregnancy, you know. But from last night, I have a fever, my throat sore, I just feel awful.
Well, that don't sound right, Roxanne. It sounds to me like you need to go see a doctor immediately, especially with the H1N1 we're growing.
When I just want regular flu, that ain't nothing.
Regular flu? The flu you know nothing for joke with, you know. Especially for you who are falling in the high-risk category.
High-risk category? What that?
Well, the ministry has stressed that pregnant women, persons with chronic illnesses such as asthma, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, and even children under 5 years should go to the doctor as soon as them start feel flu.
Why?
Because these persons are more at risk for serious illnesses or even death from the flu.
Death? I'm going to put on my clothes and go to the doctor right now.
You better do that.
For more information about influenza A H1N1, call toll-free 1-888-1-LOVE. That's 1-888-663-5683, or contact your parish health department. A message from the Ministry of Health, the Jamaica Information Service, the Voice of Jamaica, and the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
Thanks for staying with us. Up next, using modern technology, specifically biogas, to enhance and grow a traditional business.
Pork is a favorite on the menu of many peoples of the world. Many Jamaicans crave the spicy jerked pork, barbecued pork rib, and the smoked ham, usually more popular at Christmas time. The passion held for this source of protein is visible in the trendy festivals put on yearly, where chefs and patrons gather to enjoy the mouth-watering jerk. Pork is big business worldwide. It is the world's most widely eaten meat, and pig farmers are accessing more ingenious ways of breeding and rearing pigs to supply their markets and remain competitive. Profitability in the business depends largely on the design and provision of suitable housing and the use of improved pig breeds as well as feeding practices. Farmers may choose to engage in either or both of the two main aspects of the pig industry, that is breeders, where they produce piglets, which are sold at weaning, or finishers, where they rear the weaned piglets to the required stage for slaughtering. On just a few square meters of land in his backyard in Hatfield, Manchester, Nardi Smith has gradually built on a family tradition of rearing pigs. In 1994, he decided to put more interest in pig farming as a business.
I've been buying animals like from St. John Bosco up the road. I've been buying from Bodles out in St. Catherine. Bodles was the actual research station that the government had set up. They would have had the best quality animals.
Mr. Smith, utilizing self-contained water tanks fitted with push-type nipple drinkers, is able to provide his pigs with clean, cool, good quality drinking water at all times. A more significant component in his operation is the fact that he has been able to address the matter of effluent and odor emission with the introduction of a biodigester.
In the initial stages of rearing pigs, I started having effluent scents. So you'd have my neighbors complaining that you'd have odor. Then and there I started excavating to do a pit. But then after what it was costing me to do the pit, I realized that, and in a matter of a year or so, you'd find that the pit would eventually full. So I decided that the best way to go would to put in a biodigester unit. So I contacted the SRC, Scientific Research Council, for some advice, and they suggested to me then that I should put in this unit.
The 30 cubic feet biodigester treats effluent that comes from the pig pens and produces methane gas, which the farmer pipes to his house and uses to operate a gas stove in his kitchen. Mr. Smith also hopes to use it to provide heating for the newborn piglets.
You stand here and you really don't have an odor problem. And my neighbors no longer complain of having a stench. Because if you notice around me, it's being built up. So on account of that, this comes in real handy.
The enterprising farmer uses the water from the digester as a liquid fertilizer and the manure that he removes and dries to grow tomatoes and other crops.
Now for the sweet details on the potential for small business development in the area of beekeeping and what the government is doing to support the sector.
It has an image most would associate only with rural folk. But as it only takes a relatively small space and minimal effort to accomplish sweet rewards, this occupational skills area is defying community boundaries. Quietly, the lure of the billion-dollar honey business is pulling young persons from both the inner city communities of urban areas as well as rural parts of the island into the lucrative field. This magnetism, which provides an alternative source for income generation, is part of a wider development strategy of the Ministry of Agriculture to involve youth in productive agricultural projects. The 3-year beekeeping apprenticeship project is just one of 8 priority projects identified with the potential to generate employment and significant export earnings under this agricultural development strategy. The bee industry offers exciting prospects for careers such as researchers, traders, processors, manufacturers, beekeepers, lab technicians, and extension officers.
It is the newest and best thing to really put forward to young people, especially, and even the old, say the young and the old. Because even with the apprenticeship program right now, we try to select men are, say, male of, say, up to about, say, age 28, and ladies of any age can actually come in and, you know, become a part of the apprenticeship program.
Hands-on training in beekeeping, especially for the new beekeepers, is essential. Through the apprenticeship program, trainees are taught correct apiary management practices, how to select sites to set up their colonies, as well as expand their apiaries.
When we started the first beekeeping project, actually beekeeping apprenticeship program, we actually, you know, just go to the parish office, the RADA parish office, ask them to help us distribute the application forms. We get the response was so overwhelming. You know, we got maybe about 300 or so applications, and we only had space for 30 apprentices at that time.
It was quite overwhelming, and we recognize that there are many people out there who are interested in getting into beekeeping. So the ministry has, since that time, we spent something in the region of $2.8 million to train those who have graduated, and to provide them with the requisite bees and equipment to start their own apiaries.
Most persons want to have large apiaries, and so an important part of their course had to do with the splitting or breeding of the bee population. This involves the careful selection of 4 to 5 frames that have a combination of eggs and larvae from a colony, and putting them into a separate hive box.
This would be a very nice frame that actually would be selected.